Hello and welcome. In this video, we will show an example on how to implement the table cell renderer of a JTable so that we can dynamically draw images or image icons on individual cells of the JTable. This implementation is different from what we usually see on the internet regarding the addition of images and icons in a single table cell. This kind of implementation is ideal if you want to use the JTable for animation to create certain games like Tetris, checkers, or tic-tac-toe. In this case, the JTable becomes a powerful tool to design the games we just mentioned in a very simple way. Before we proceed with the example, I just want to mention that I will make the code available for download on my site. There are many ways to organize your code. In my case, I decided to put all my code in one file. There are two classes in this file, including a private class that extends defaultable cellrender class. Feel free to use a different way that suits you. You may also notice some lines of code that are not necessary for this demonstration, like the implementation of runnable class for Java thread. I just put them there for future use to animate a Tetris block moving down the table. It will be in another video in which we will also talk about Java thread and how to pause and resume game using the wait and notify methods of the thread. For now, it will be just drawing an icon into a cell when you click it. Let's start. First, create a class that extends from JFrame. You name it whatever you want to. Then, define a panel object, a JTable object. Once again, it is up to you to name them as you wish. You also need to define and construct an icon object. Ideally, the size of the image should match the size of the JTable cell, or you will have to use extra lines of code to scale that icon to the cell size. I chose 40 pixels for the cell size and the icon. Change it if your screen is too small. Create the class's public constructor if it is not done automatically, and customize the window frame and set preferred size to 336px width and 750px height. Set resizing to false. Construct the JTable and the panel. Add then JTable to the panel and then add the panel to the frame. After finishing preparing the graphical aspect of your program, you can now create a private class inside the main class that extends the default table cell renderer class. We need to override the component method responsible for the cell drawing. This part of the code will be responsible for any image drawing for the JTable. And as a first test to dynamically draw an icon on a single cell, we will use an if statement to check if a single cell has the focus. There is a parameter inside the component method that can do that for us called hasFocus. If the condition is met and true by clicking on the cell, the icon is then drawn into the cell. We do not need to create a mouse event listener for that. With our custom cell renderer being ready, we can now set it for our JTable object. At first, you may think that the way to do that is to call the setDefaultRenderer method on the JTable object. It is not gonna work and it is messy. This is not what we want. We should set our custom cell renderer differently. Remove that line. Go to the table object construction and open brackets so that we can anonymously override some other methods that will allow us to set our custom cell renderer. We have two methods in the body of our table object. Method is cell editable, that returns false so that when we click on a cell it does not turn into a text field, and method prepare renderer. The last one contains a parameter of type table cell renderer. All we need now is to associate our custom cell renderer with this parameter and return the component created with that parameter. After that, everything should work as intended. I hope this helps you understand more about JTable Cell Renderer. There will be more videos on this matter in the future. Until then, goodbye.